All right, campers, let's take a look at what I brought for my 6-day compact car camping with no cooler. So these 3 boxes have the bulk of my food that I brought along, and it's all shelf stable. And we'll go them through box by box. If you'd like to see what I chose, I'll go over the menus on a different video, but just a quick overview of what's packed into these boxes here. What I did is I took some suddenly salad meals and I split those into thirds because that's enough for one portion. And then I've got it all labeled, and so it's a lot more compact, and it's going to be a cool meal. I'll show you later. And on this trip, got some peanut butter, some garlic seasoning, Starburst. That's for a special dessert I'm going to do. I brought corned beef hash. I prefer roast beef hash, but you know, I like that it came in this tiny little can here. So, you know, I'm not gonna be able to bring bacon or ham, so to go along with breakfast, this will be a nice little kind of semi-meat type of breakfast. Some Parmesan cheese and a neat little thing I got from Pizza Hut. You had to pay for that. And anyway, so when you go without a cooler, you're not gonna be able to bring fresh meats like steaks and bacon and all that stuff. So you're kind of down to canned goods, and to help make up for some of those meat cravings you might have, you know, you gotta be creative. So here's some canned crab. I got a really special recipe for this one later, and some canned chicken. It's actually pretty good. Got some canned clams for something. I got some roast beef. This is the Hereford brand from Walmart, and it's supposed to be roast beef with gravy. So we're gonna give that a check. I'm gonna do a dinner of roast beef and mashed potatoes and try out this Walmart meat and see how good it is or isn't. Got some chili, of course. You know, that's a basic one for camping. I love to make my own, but you know, when you're kind of limited, just bring some canned chili. I also had stew, which I had for dinner last night, but you know, I got here and didn't have time to do this video at that time. Some canned baked beans, and don't forget smoked mussels. These are really great with crackers, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. And sardines, same thing. A little energy bar, snack olives, pulled pork in the packages. If you want to make a sandwich, then you can do that. We're going to talk about sandwiches later. Brought some milk. I don't know if I'm going to need it, but you know, it's there. Let's get this back in here and I'll go over to the next box. And you know, ramen, everybody, it's a popular thing to take along. I'm not really fond of it unless it's a spicy one. So I brought a chili ramen. Pop-Tarts. When you don't want to cook breakfast and you need some energy, or anytime during the day, got a craving, that's a good one. Now, okay, check out this one is creamy potato soup. That's what the clams are for. We're going to make clam chowder. And use that with this. See how I packaged in for a portion for one. The package comes in, you know, serves 3 or 4 or something like that. And I use a scale at home, a really accurate one, so I can measure out and split it up really well. Mashed potatoes, you know, take those packages, reweigh it, and split it down into single or double portions, whatever you need. Bag it and label it. Some liquid IV. That stuff's handy at times when if you get someone's really dehydrated, been in the sun too much. It's nice that they make the little dry packets if you're okay for a water supply. Pancake mix, oatmeal. That's a popular one. I like this apple cinnamon one. And Velveeta, it's a breakfast cracker, cookie, whatever. So that along. Here's my syrup. I put that into a little container. I really got to make sure you have a good leak-proof one. a little bit of cinnamon whiskey. That's a bonus. Uh, Rico's nacho cheese. They make the best nacho cheese in a can, and they also make it in the little 4-packs like this, which is nice because you can split it up then and just bring a single portion if you want to, or however many you want, or you don't have to open a whole big can and just have single portions. In fact, this is going to go with the crab meat on a nice recipe I got. It's for you. Okay, you got a sweet tooth. You want some dessert? Want a pie? Piece of pie? Got apple or cherry? These are fun to bring along. Don't have to bring a whole big pie. The vegetable oil, butter, and I did bring some butter, but you know, it's when you're if you need vegetable oil, bringing it in a container, I found nothing seems to hold them from leaking, so that's why I bring the canned vegetable oil. And then there's these Starkist Kitchen Creations. They make it in tuna or chicken, and brought that for an easy sandwich. Packets of mayonnaise. You're going to find out about those later. Those are going to be super handy. And of course, my dehydrated potatoes. Oh, jam. So if you can, get those little packets of jam. Those are nice to pack so you don't have to bring a big jar of jam. You throw all this in and go through the last box. So in this box, now I did cheat a little bit, just a little. So I've got some cheese. Now, hard cheeses don't necessarily have to be refrigerated. I'm going to start a whole war about this, but in Europe, man, they don't ever refrigerate cheese. And butter, same thing. It does not have to be refrigerated. You want to keep it at a room temperature, a cool room temperature, so that it doesn't get too soft and melt all over. But it can stay, these things can stay out at room temperature for several days and not have a problem. I did put an ice pack in here before I left just because it was really hot that day. Didn't want to end up with totally melted butter. So I'm hoping I can keep this fairly cool or out of the sun so it doesn't completely dissolve. I brought some English muffins. I got crackers. I got lots of crackers because that's going to go with all this cheese and salami I brought along. You know, mountain climbers, where they're trying to pack light but high energy food. One of their big favorites is cheese and salami because it packs a lot of calories per gram. And for me, I just like it on crackers. It's tasty. Moving on here. Okay, tortillas. I would like to have brought bread, but it's just takes up space and gets smashed easy and stuff. So the tortillas have been a popular item for me. Could have brought big ones, but I like the little ones just for packing. And I can make little sandwiches with this, peanut butter and jelly, or a lot of choices. Last night when I had chili, I had tortilla with it. But on top of that, I have two types of tortillas here. This is your standard street taco flour, which is I'll be using for not fajitas, but I always forget the name. With the cheese on it. Anyway, it'll pop to me later in a minute. So anyway, but the Mission makes a sweet Hawaiian flour tortilla, and I didn't find it too well to make like Mexican stuff with. The sweetness just didn't go. Quesadillas, that's what I was thinking of. These don't work. The sweet ones don't work that well for quesadillas. It just the sweetness doesn't work with it. But when I had my stew last night, it was nice to have this with it. And also I tested peanut butter and jelly on these, really good. And so, if you want like your bread substitute, things you would normally make with bread, the sweet Hawaiian ones work really well. If you're going to do more Mexican or beef or quesadillas, then you want just the regular old ones. And that pretty much covers it here. The only other things I brought along on the side in a bag was this cheese and salami and some beef jerky. Now this is actually 3 packets worth into one. They waste so much room on packing space anymore. You know what they call it, shrinkage, inflation shrinkage, or shrinkage inflation, whatever. Anyway, so I opened 3 of them and stuffed all of them into one bag. Now I just got one bag to deal with. And then, yeah, I brought some Doritos, but not necessarily to eat. Just in case I might need them to light my barbecue, my charcoal, or start a fire. You know, I've talked about those things in the past, but so if I don't need them for fire, yeah, I'm going to eat them. And that's pretty much it that I brought. I did have a little cooler box. It's not a cooler. It's just a little container here. Yeah, it's insulated, but there's no ice or anything in there. I just needed a little extra room so I could bring my beer. So that's what this is. And they're not cold, but I might have some tricks to show you to cool it down more. But some of you might not like this, or you might think this is weird, but I can drink beer warm.